Support healthcare and housing for all. Healthcare is a human right, not a privilege. Thank you, Bernie Sanders, for saying that. Housing and healthcare go hand in hand. One cannot exist without the other. My name is Leslie Thorsen. I'm a member of the group Vermont Just Justice, and our mission statement endorses criminal legal reform and advocacy for our vulnerable prison population. On July 1st, the Vermont Department of Corrections signed a 3-year annual $33 million contract with the hedge fund private equity firm WellPath LLC. A company, a company with a history of limiting or denying health care so they can pocket as much of the $33 million a year into their hedge fund accounts. This at the expense of sick and all too often lately dying inmates in the Vermont Department of Corrections. I would like to shine a spotlight on one of the many incarcerated individuals being denied adequate health care. I will call him D.A. D.A. has been detained by the state of Vermont while he awaits his quote-unquote speedy trial. Unfortunately for D.A., he is classified as a type 1 diabetic, previously known as juvenile onset, and this is 5 to 10% of the diabetic population. His body makes no insulin, so he has to rely on timely meals, blood sugar checks, and most importantly, the timely injections of insulin. While he has been detained for 3 years, his blood sugars have been outrageously high and sometimes dangerously low. All the while, he sits in a cell, unable to manage his own care, as he has done since he was 16. His endocrinologist at Dartmouth-Hitchcock had recommended an insulin pump with a continuous glucose monitor. DA deserves to have what 28 VSA 801, written by our legislature, which states, the department shall provide health care for inmates in accordance with the prevailing medical standards. In spite of multiple grievances to previous for-profit healthcare providers, and in spite of these grievances directed to the Department of Corrections Commissioner, who is a lawyer, not a healthcare provider, he still sits in our prison with no insulin pump and blood sugars that honestly would have freaked out any real healthcare provider. You see, all referrals out of the Vermont Department of Corrections is paid for by the current healthcare provider. Any out-of-prison care reduces the bottom line for WellPath. This is inhumane.
That's right.
This is despicable.
That's right.
Thank you. To pursue a healthcare model that allows and facilitates intentional disregard for human suffering needs to end. Healthcare for profit needs to end.
That's
Yes.
Thank you. In DA's world, this purposeful denial of an insulin pump has already damaged his eyes, kidneys, and lower limbs. I know this because his A1C is 8.1, a blood sugar measurement over time. A blood sugar measurement that means he has suffered failed care in the hands of a Vermont-financed for-profit healthcare company and DOC non-trained healthcare managers who complicitly deny his multiple grievances. And sadly, this is just one man and one story. Multiply this by the thousands in this country who suffer at the hands of for-profit healthcare. There is no place in our society for companies to profit off of another's health. Yes, they are robbing people of their future and costing the entire healthcare system millions and billions of dollars down the road. Prevention is the best medicine. It's the first thing I learned in nursing school. So, in the future, when the CEO of WellPath is sailing around the Greek islands in his private super yacht bought with money off the backs of vulnerable humans, I know he will not be thinking of DA, who at that same moment in time may be sitting in a dialysis chair on the organ donor list waiting for a kidney, all preventable by following the ancient medical ethos. First, do no harm. Stand up for people, not profit. Thank you.